Good morning, everybody. So, I had a really good week playing Bane. Honestly, it was too good. It is up there, honestly, with Seismic Trap, EA Ballista, all that type of stuff for League Starter, particularly with all the new Arch Nemesis modifiers. And I feel you guys, on a build that's not Bane, it does feel way, way, way worse. Those things really do shut down a lot of other types of builds. So, with all that said, you know, Bane's even better. If you are feeling how bad the Arch Nemesis stuff is, I cannot implore you enough to play that build. It is absolutely incredible for dealing with all of those modifiers. However, I've played Bane basically for the past year. You know, I do like to play other builds a lot, and I try really hard to try something new, at least to me. And the Caster and Crit Forbidden Right build looked really enticing to me. It's still an occultist, so it saves me a lot of respecking and re-leveling and all that. I really wanted to see what it was all about. There's a lot of hype around it last league. Apparently becomes nearly immortal, you know, does like 30 million DPS, gets really, really good, but that's not what this is today. I have only played this build for less than 24 hours, actually significantly less. Put in like 20 exalts max. I only went up to 20x this morning because it felt so squishy and so bad. I bought this Thread of Hope and this Aegis Aurora just to push it to something a little bit more comfortable. So yeah, this build is, I wanted to show you guys, bring you along for the journey as I am trying out a build that's new to me, show my process as I try to put these things together, things that I've fallen into, you know, pitfalls and issues there. Let's just start off by showing what the mapping experience is. This is a rolled up T16 map, and yeah, it's fine overall. You know, it's a cast on crit build, right? So we have to make sure we have our max accuracy. We have to balance our cooldown recovery rate with our attack speed and all that type of stuff. We are Chaos Inoculation, which is really nice. We can ignore Chaos stuff. However, the downside is we do give up on a lot of the free life recovery type of stuff. So, you know, I'm still using Enduring Cry and everything like that just to try to recover a little bit. You know, at the low investment, there aren't that many options for getting your ES back. I did buy an ES on Hit Watcher's Eye. I believe that was 5 exalts yesterday. Yeah, here's a demonstration. This might even get me killed of how much worse this build feels for certain enemies. You can just see my life getting chunked down really, really bad. Yeah, Sentinel. That's Sentinel and Hasted. So yeah, Arch Nemesis modifiers, absolutely for a more melee-oriented build. Feels bad, man. Yeah, definitely feels bad. A lot of these things shut me down pretty hard. If it has like Chaos Weaver and Arcane Buffer and stuff like that, it's you know, nearly impossible for this build to take down at this level investment. Yeah, so general idea here eventually will be to become fairly immortal with the Aegis Aurora, with the Purity of Ice, and Melding in the Flesh, which allows us to, you know, we get +5 cold res here. Purity of Ice, this will give us another, at higher investment, +5. That'll comfortably let us get close to 90 cold res. With Melding of the Flesh, all of our res caps will go up to 90, you know, whatever the cold res is at that point. Then we can just scale all of those up and have really, really good elemental res. We become immune to chaos because we're Chaos Inoculation. We want to go for max block with Glancing Blows. Aegis Aurora, we get 2% ES based on our armor every time that we block. You know, eventually I want to have good armor. My armor's really, really bad right now. That's part of why I feel so squishy. That's really the defenses there. They're very, very good defenses. But until they're all put together, it actually feels awful, right? Because I can't press a life flask or anything like that. I basically, you know, I have to be pretty much in the center of the pack and cycloning around. And if I just get, you know, if I get stunned, right, that arcane buffer right there, look at my ES just get chunked. If I get stunned just for a moment and, you know, my flasks are down or anything, yeah, like I will take very, very big damage very, very quickly there. Like I would have died if I didn't have that shrine. The purpose of this video is really to both bring you along with my journey here, and I can talk about the stuff that I've learned, like the goods and the bads, and you know, the things to look out for. Perfect. I did want to die as I was recording for this video. Perfect. That's a great place to end this map, actually. That is what happens with this build right now. Especially if you just get a little bit mini-sunned. I am using Soul the Brine King. I do have chance to avoid being stunned on a couple pieces of gear. I actually was using essences to get more of that. It feels pretty bad. My damage output right now is like 1 to 2 million DPS. It's not very much. you know, again, very, very low investment. And this is, remember, this is 20x. This morning I was 10x and it was way worse. At 20x, it's starting to feel decent, right? That is a rolled up T16 map. I can do T14s pretty comfortably, but essence monsters and the map boss, you know, if it gets possessed or anything, can still be pretty hard. This isn't meant to be a build guide, so this is just walking through where I am right now, the stuff that I've learned. Yeah, I'll quickly go over what I have here. So Divergent Cyclone, Anomalous Forbidden Right for the end game goal of eventually using Ashes of the Stars, getting more projectiles. Void Manipulation, Awakened Cast on Crit is really very, very necessary. Bought this for 2 exalts. This gives you the cooldown recovery rate, so then you don't need it anywhere else on your build initially. It's for cast on crit. Eventually, we do need cooldown recovery on our boots and on an Abyss Jewel as well. Hit that 52% breakpoint for the attack speed. That will give us way, way more damage. But, you know, this is leftover investment here. I'm using increased critical strike support just because I don't have really good crit in other locations right now. Don't have full power charges or anything. And power charge on crit here. So that's the overall layout. I am using Precision, Determination, Discipline, and Tempest Shield. Precision is just temporary. Eventually, we'll have a weapon that has the Vegan craft for hits can't be evaded. And then we can ignore all of the precision stuff there. That's the end game goal. Also, regarding the weapon, you eventually want to get like a really nice dagger that has, you know, +1 chaos gems, really, really good spell damage, everything like that. But that's like way later on when you have a Mage Blood and everything like that. Until you get to that investment, I do strongly recommend a Gemini Claw. It just, your mana will disappear if you don't use one. I had to use a mana flask and everything, and I was still running out. This is basically necessary until you get your mana solved in other ways. I just hit it with like 1 or 2 essences, and I hit critical strike chance as well. Crafted spell damage, said good enough. Helmet, garbage right now, but we want +1 proj on Forbidden Right. Eventually, we want to get, you know, power charge, nearby enemies, minus chaos res, everything like that. Amulet, I'm just using this for stats right now, stats and accuracy. Eventually, we do want to go to like an Ashes of the Stars, you know, at much, much higher investment, because we can use a lot of alternate quality gems, really take advantage of, you know, additional projectiles and even alternate quality curses and everything to get more value there. Yeah, I'm using Mark on Hit with Sniper's Mark just for cursed enemies take more damage. Aegis Aurora, as I said before, end game goal is Aegis Aurora with Purity of Ice with Melding of the Flesh, which can give us, you know, at higher investment, 90 all elemental res, makes us way, way, way tankier, and we can ignore, you know, most of the stuff in the game. Eventually, we'll want Tailwind and cooldown recovery rate boots. These are just my leftover boots from my last build. I'm using a Despair on Hit Ring. I've seen the, you know, the PoE Ninja Warriors use on Focus, Despair, yada, 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 just to like push their damage as high as possible. I strongly recommend just doing Despair on Hit. I'm doing Cast on Damage Taken Molten Shell, Enduring Cry. I really, really like Enduring Cry. That's the number one like build advice, that if your build's ever feeling like really, really bad recovery and you're wondering you're out of life flask, or maybe you're CI, but you have Zealot's Oath, so regen will apply to your energy shield. Enduring Cry is just so good. You know, regenerate 2,000 life over 1 second, and it can also give you 3 endurance charges if you use it near a boss or in a big pack of monsters, which is just really good reduced physical damage taken. So notable stuff here is a large Thread of Hope, so we can get Glancing Blows. Lighted Divinity is just a nice little bonus here. I think this is basically necessary for the build. Leftover Chaos Cluster Jewel. There is nothing special here at all. And then I have 2 Critical Strike Cluster Jewels just so I can get some more crit, a little bit more speed here. These are not perfect whatsoever. Ideally, I do want a spell damage one that gives me some more block and stuff like that. And then I have ES on Hit, Watcher's Eye. You can ignore the other 2 mods. Like, I'm not even using Vitality right now. Just an ES on Hit, Watcher's Eye, which you should be able to buy at a fairly decent price. Yeah, I got mine yesterday for 5.5 exalts. Looks like the price is going up. So if you are interested in this build, you might want to just sneak that ASAP. I don't know if the prices can go up or down, but yeah, I got mine for 5.5 yesterday. A Militant Faith, which is converted by Dominus, which then gives us Inner Conviction, which will give us a more damage multiplier, which is really, really nice. You know, eventually you want +1 power charge rings and a +1 power charge helmet. Goal is around 10 power charges, and then that becomes, you know, a 30% more damage multiplier. It scales up pretty nicely there. You know, much of this build is just based around getting those power charges up, really shores up your critical strike chance. triggering those forbidden rights. Yeah, this is just a quick hitter. I'm going to try to finish this map. I might not be able to. If anything, I want it to be a cautionary tale of just how squishy this build feels at low investment. I know it can get really tanky, but, you know, just give you an idea of, hey, if I threw 10 to 20 exalts at this build, what would it feel like? I can't recommend it at this current investment. So yeah, I'm gonna have to be clever with how I'm gonna generate currency now. Probably spend everything that I have in my stash just to get this build to a comfortable place. Because honestly, right now, it is a severe downgrade from my 10 Exalt Bane. My 10 Exalt Bane felt way, way better, at least with the Arch Nemesis modifiers and all that. So yeah, your mileage may vary. I'm going to link the POB of this scuffed build as exactly as it is in the description below. Don't recommend doing this at the moment. This is just a stepping stone. I'll have an update in a couple days, and hopefully it feels and looks a lot better after that. All right, and if you're still here and you're still tuned in, you might be interested and going to pop on stream in a couple hours. We are going to craft up better gear, take this build to the next level, and then I am very, very excited to check out V Rising. I have been a fan of Stunlock Studios, the developer of V Rising, for a long time. Battlerite is one of my favorite games of all time that I used to play with my friends a lot, and I'm very excited to see what V Rising is like. I've only heard good things. This is not sponsored. I generally just really want to play that game, so we're going to be doing that on stream a little bit as well today. And yeah, I got to go mow the lawn before it gets way too hot out. We got a huge heat wave coming. Oh my God, it's 90. Ugh. All right, I got to go do that, and then I'll be popping on the stream in a little bit. We're going to craft up some gear and check out V Rising. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.